Lesotho, a nation of 1.9 million people in southern Africa, famous for its beautiful mountains and fresh mountain water. Basotho build their homes on the foothills, lowlands and mountainsides. Within these homes are silent voices of the invisible. Mentally handicapped persons are invisible to society, not because of them, but because of their disabilities. When a child is born with a disability, or when a child acquires a disability in early childhood, many families are faced with questions for which they do not have answers. Mapulane Makatisi gave birth to twins at the age of 21. One of the twins, Pulane Makatisi, is now 5 years old but mentally disabled. Mapulane believes she knows the cause of her daughter's disability.
Ko banene nako nye wana nga hlaha ne ke pepiswa ke ngwana sekolo jwale ne le mafahla e mong o la hlaha hantle bele eno e mong motho na nang pepiswa na sa tsebo gore ke mafahla bele ya re pele puliane ya hlaha ya bo ha hlokomelo go teng ya ba ke iswa ka batswetseng ka nthinyane ke montsa le teng ke mona mo kgolofalo e la hlati ntate wa haela ga hlokomelo ga ha tsebo tsamaya a ba mosinya ha ke misa bodingakeng ho thwe ka go le nngwe ya boko ba ha e shwele bele dintho tse ding a ka nna se ka di etsa tse ding o tla di etsa butlenyana.
Parents of a child with a disability need to be given an individualized rehabilitation program for the child, which they have to implement at home and come for assessment periodically. They also need professional counselling. They are often worried by issues relating to the health, education, employment and protection of their child. In the first instance, they need to understand and accept the causes of disability.
Dintho tse ka etsa ngwana a hla ana le mathata a mafu a kelello kapa a ho holofala ke mabaka o ka rolang ka dintho tse ka reng dipedi ditharo ke dintho tse ka etsahalang pele motho a ilo pepa ke dintho tse ka etsahalang nako e motho a pepang ke dintho tse ka etsahalang ka mora hore a pepe.
Many children with multiple or severe disability are not accessing health services. For some, they lack wheelchairs and they are too heavy to be carried on the back of their parents on their way to health centers. For Relebile Hlalele, aged 20, his parents are overwhelmed by the transport cost and hassle of taking him to a health center.
Ho kena ka mono no ka dikoloing le tsona ke bona le bothata ba hore na di kena ka live thing o tata o go le tsena tsa lona tsena o jere hana tse tla dila kae.
The Ministry of Health and Social Welfare should have an early identification and intervention unit in all district hospitals. This unit would provide the necessary counseling for parents of children with disabilities. It would also develop a specialized therapeutic program for the child, which will be practiced at home by the parent.
The parents, they are the key to rehabilitation of the children with disabilities. And when they come for therapy, maybe it's a 45-minute session, what we do is we give a program that the mother will keep on working on when they go back home until the next session.
A child with mental disability should be assessed periodically by the relevant professionals such as occupational therapists, speech therapists, physiotherapists and neurologists. There is need for regular follow-up to ensure progressive professional attention. At the moment, some of the therapeutic services are only available at St. Angela and Mafeteng Hospital because occupational therapists are available at these two institutions. Education is a key to a better life. This is especially true for Thabiso Sebakeng. Thabiso is a 12-year-old with a severe disability.
The
situation of Thabiso is similar to that of Libina Ntani. Libina is 3.5 years old. Her grandmother has to care for her on a full-time basis. For a better life, children with severe or multiple disability need training in daily living skills.
In daily living skills, I think we have 3 subdomains that we have in daily living skills. It's personal, domestic, and community. So in personal self-help skills, we need children to help themselves, like eating, feeding, dressing up, things that he can do on a daily basis without being assisted by other children or adults who are around. And then if it comes to domestic, they need to help themselves, cook, to be taught how to cook. Can you wash your clothes? Those are a few examples with the domestic daily living things. And we also have community. Safety is one of it. Using money, telephones, can she tell time? Those are the things that we have in our daily living skills. And then the way we teach them, it depends on their mental ability.
The program for daily living skills needs to be incorporated in the early childhood development curriculum. Much as children enjoy free primary education in Lesotho, there are few children with mental disability enrolled because they are not accessing education appropriate for their intellectual disability. The realization of the human rights for all requires strategies to promote access to education appropriate for learners with disabilities.
It's unlike when you have a class, you prepare one lesson, you present it to all. It works, but with them, they are different. Everything got to be different when you approach them. When you have 5 children, it's when you have 5 classes, you have 5 lessons for them.
The education curriculum at early childhood development level and other levels needs to be revised to address the learning needs for children with intellectual disability.
Presently, we are in the process of reviewing the curriculum, and we are learning more about the learning needs of those learners so that we could include them in our curriculum or prepare special materials for them.
Because of lack of access to effective education, learners with intellectual disability drop out of school at an early stage. Without appropriate training programs, including vocational skills development, a large number of youth with mental disability will remain idle at home. Born with cerebral palsy over 30 years ago, Matlakeng Kalake is a married man with 1 child. He dropped out of school in Form B because of his disability. Teachers became impatient with him because he was slow in writing and did not speak like other learners. Matlakeng refused to let his disability become a stumbling block to earning a decent living. In 1998, he started training in photography, and today he earns a living through photography. Motlatsi Mata is a 26-year-old. He was left to stay alone in this house at a tender age when his parents passed on. When a child is disabled and orphaned, it is double trouble. Most families are not willing to foster or adopt children with disabilities as their care is very demanding. Mutlatsi does a variety of casual jobs in order to survive. Napo Magele is also a youth with mental disability and he stays alone. Matlakeng, Mutlatsi, Napo and many other youth with mental disability have the potential to become independent. They need financial, material and other forms of support to realize their full potential. Financial aid, vocational training and other forms of support for youth with mental disabilities can be provided by their families, communities, non-government organizations, government and development agencies. Lesotho Society of Mentally Handicapped Persons is playing its part. With over 500 youth with mental disability registered as members, Lesotho Society of Mentally Handicapped Persons works with its partners to promote the rights, quality of life and opportunities of mentally handicapped persons and their families. The initiatives of this society strive to contribute to the implementation of Lesotho's national plans and programs such as Vision 2020 and Poverty Reduction Strategy. People with intellectual disabilities and their families should be empowered with skills to improve the quality of their lives. Parents who cannot be trained or work outside their homes because of providing care to a child with mental disability on a full-time basis are among the poorest of the poor in Lesotho. They need economic support. Mem Madiako Hababa, aged 71, has to be at home all the time to guard and care for her grandson, Leboang Hababa. Leboang, aged 20, has difficult behavior.
Mona unontswe na le khalasi jalo ho ha sa la high impact fia ho una tshwatla tjena le stofu mona sakena le stofu nyana sena sa thubena sa motlakase ha re beile ke tlile mono wa itlo sa bana ha tse dula mono no ke tlile ena e tlwaleleng e phang dintontse e se motlakase le yona ina motlakase ha o ka e bea mo e sa duleng teng wa enka.
Just like Leboang Hababa, Relebule Hlalele also needs full-time care. Although aged 20, Relebule cannot do any of the activities of daily living and sometimes he has difficult behavior. Lebohang, Relebule and many other mentally disabled persons will depend on their parents for the rest of their lives. With Lesotho's high levels of HIV prevalence, poverty and unemployment, parents caring for children with mental disabilities on a full-time basis need economic support. This support can be provided in the form of registering the child for a child support grant, which is offered by the Department of Social Welfare.
Social